the chat box for your queries. Start our webinar sharp on 10 a.m.
Vivek sir, turn on recording on sharp 10 a.m. Right? Vivek sir, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Manoj sir, sir, is there any disturbance behind you?
Okay. सानवी बेटा स्लो कर लो बात. ठीक है विवेक अब.
Yes, sir.
Okay. डॉक्टर पंकज ठीक है सर?
Yes, sir. All correct. No issue.
Okay.
If something will be there, your organizers are here to help me out.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
My voice is audible properly to all. That's important.
Yes, sir.
That's nice. Thank you.
Sonali ma'am.
Shall I start, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Please carry on.
Yes, sir.
So, I, Sonali Dubey, on behalf of ECE Department, IEC College of Engineering and Technology, welcomes the keynote speaker, Dr. Pankaj Goswami, Director IEC CET, Dr. Sunil Kumar, sir, HOD ECE, Dr. Manoj Garg, sir, and all the participants for this webinar on artificial intelligence. Way to the future, the upcoming technology on boom. Webinar is an ideal start for everyone who wants to start with the artificial intelligence. And it is our pleasure to have Dr. Pankaj Goswami sir with us to give insight on the topic artificial intelligence. Now I request Dr. Manoj Garg sir to introduce Pankaj sir to all the participants. Manoj sir.
Thank you, Sonali ma'am. Good morning, all of you. On behalf of IEC College of Engineering and Technology and on behalf of Electronics and Communication Engineering Department, I, Manoj Garg, Head of the Department, welcome to our speaker of the day, Dr. Pankaj Goswami. Welcome, sir. I also welcome our Director, sir, Head of the Departments, Manager, HR and Planning, faculty members, training and placement officer, students of IEC college, and all the participants of different organizations in this webinar. A very privilege for us that we are organizing this webinar on artificial intelligence. Dr. Pankaj Goswami, a very dynamic personality, is present with us in this webinar as a speaker. In present, Dr. Pankaj is associated with Tirthankar Mahavir University, Muradabad as a professor in Electronics and Communication Engineering Department. Dr. Pankaj Goswami has received the BTech, MTech and PhD degree in the area of electronics engineering with vast teaching experience of 15 years in reputed organizations. He has more than 30 international publications in the reputed peer-reviewed journals including Explore, Scopus, and SCI Index. His main area of research wideband and non-linear electronics devices and antennas. Several patents in the field of antenna design, IoT, machine learning based application under the intellectual property rights of Government of India. He is an educator in the field of machine learning using Python. He is active associated in NAAC SSR preparation at University Interface and visited several times SAARC countries for various academic proportional activities. I sincerely hope that this webinar will be very useful for you all, as the coming time is about artificial intelligence and machine learning. Now I will not take more time. Again, I welcome Dr. Pankaj and all the participants in this webinar and request to the Dr. Pankaj to start the session of the day. Thank you, Pankaj. Dr. Pankaj.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Manoj Garg. And definitely it's a proud privilege for me to just invite here. So first of all, I'm just highly thankful for HOD EC, Director IEC, and all the organizing committee members and as well as the participants who have just taken the interest to come up here. So well, I have a chance to just talk a little about the artificial intelligence, and definitely it is not a like time limit and bound system. Let's just describe in a few words, but I just try to keep some insight about that. So I'm just initiating this session, just giving a little insight to start with actual attributes of the artificial intelligence. So as you all see that artificial intelligence, my title is an attribute of human intelligence. Exactly. So we can create something artificially intelligent only when it is possible when the human is intelligent enough. So first of all, we have to just create our intelligence level into the area of the learning of the machine. Then we can create an artificial intelligence. So let's begin with this. So first of all, I just talk about that. If you just see this evolution, so it comes with the evolution from the human intelligence first. So we evolved, we just created the things, we found the things, and definitely we observed and created number of things as per the requirement and as per the need. We keep working, we had work, and definitely we are working on that area. So working in that direction, we are moving towards the artificial intelligence. Now, some things are there to support us. Some devices are there to support us. Some devices are there to think like us. This is somewhat we are going to work with the artificial intelligence. If you see here, the artificial intelligence has been changed with respect to number of attributes. Like initially we were having a single smartphone in our hand and we generally being called that we have something in our hand which is artificially intelligent. But is it only the limitation to just have a smartphone in our hand and talking with the Siri? Is it not only the thing to just talk in the series, because number of the times you are talking your Siri and talking with the IBM Watson, so you are just getting some sort of the reply which somewhat you laugh on. So it happens that. So what is else extra? Then we moved on to just create some virtual reality. So if you see in this particular figure, the second one is there. So we just have a virtual reality that is just guiding us, that is helping us to move on somewhere. Then our task has been created by the number of the devices associated with us. We are just only giving an instructions to them, and that is finally executing the task we are looking for. If suppose we are moving so on, so if you just see the last figure here, if something is there which is somewhat related directly with the brain, it means now the device has been instructed by its own brain, not from the human intelligence. So if you see the evolution from human intelligence to artificial intelligence, you may find that this artificial intelligence is now become a part that humans are not giving the instruction to the device, but the device has its own brain, and on the behalf of that brain, it is taking the decision for us. This is exactly now the new reforms of the artificial intelligence. See here. So the first of all, what kind of artificial intelligence we have around us and what we are creating, because I see here number of the academicians and number of the students are there. They all are working on those areas. They are using the artificial intelligence as well as they are working on it, and they are just creating something. So if you see this particular small GIF here, so what do you think? That this is definitely an AI. Is it AI or is it not an AI? So meanwhile, my session is an interactive section, and you all are definitely invited to just keep putting messages to me through the chats, so that definitely I have more interactive session. And I just feel that I'm just talking with the peoples and not just talking only with this AI. So right now also. So like, if you feel here, is it really the AI or working? Or can we categorize this is definitely working as AI? It is somewhat, if we see here, we can say this is a failure. It means the wall was kicked out, and definitely it was not stopped by this AI. That what kind of artificial intelligence it is here? If suppose some human were there instead of this particular machine, so definitely it was having a high probability at that time that it particularly it could be stopped. So what exactly this is? So the my AI work? Exactly, it is working, but it has a limitations. Friends, then definitely this particular ball could have been stopped, as you see here. And the second case, when you are just seeing there is no line of reference, so definitely the AI goes like this one. So we have to create a line of reference. This line of reference is some domain and the goal, what you're looking for. And this is exactly the most typical task of AI, because our expectation with the application is too much. But while we are just programming and while we are just dealing with this one, so we have a large complexities of creating a different kind of a zone and bandwidth of just creating this kind of a AI examples. So if you see here, and another example, so if you see here what exactly this particular robot is just doing on, it is checking up, it is measuring the distance, it is finding the height, and exactly every judging and finding out where is the line of and how much time on these stairs. This exist sensor that if some object is there and just giving more heights, a kind of a stairs, or just giving putting on a building, Is it possible to it climb upon that? It's not possible, because it is working and testing only the threshold values of the lines where it can work upon, where it can climb upon a tree. So important part is what? Read. So first of all, this particular device is reading what it has to do, then creating a learning, what definitely need to be a part of an action, then moving on to the action, then exactly the action is to be taken place, and finally on the basis of the action, this particular robot is able to climb on stair. If you go back to this one here, that one particular part was missing. It was only to just judge the ball, to see the ball, and just drop yourself to stop it. But exactly that line of reference was missed out to really find out reading the speed of the ball, and then on the basis of reading it has second, just immediately 9.5 second or 11.8 second. So that kind of a difference has to be created by the learning, that in this particular case I'm measuring some data, my robot is measuring some data, then after the reading will create a learning to the device, and the learning will create a particular action of execution. So let's move on to the basic attributes of artificial intelligence. So now the artificial intelligence is going on deeper. So artificial intelligence is moving towards the machine learning, and machine learning will have a subset of the deep learning. These terms are basically useful and definitely in so talk called, like number of the people are talking about the artificial intelligence, the people are talking the machine learning is here, deep learning here, and somewhat they are mixed up. They are actually mixed up with all these one. Some in reference of that repeatedly they are using, like somewhere machine learning, somewhere artificial intelligence, somewhere the deep learning. So artificial intelligence, if I just talk about, is basically nothing but just only an application part you have everywhere. Like even suppose I've just taken an example here on your Google map, it is an artificial intelligence. So you have that your particular map is telling you this particular route is busy and you may have an alternative path. Exactly, it is just giving you an option, what will be the ETA, expected time of arrival, and showing you that after some time you may find some congestion position, and a lot of things will be there. So this is what an application part. So the artificial intelligence, if I talk about, is a completely a whole section in which now there's a requirement to create this artificial intelligence more smart and more viable to use for large number of applications. This machine learning will help artificial intelligence to create or enhance its boundaries. So in that case, wherever it is required, so it can have some sort of a learnings also. It means if we see the previous case, the device which in the robot, it was looking to stop the ball, was created smartly, but not exactly learned robot. It was not learning anything from the events and happening, stimuli happening around all of that. But it was only just doing that action that was for being, it was being created. So machine learning is somewhat, it is a subset of artificial intelligence, because exactly the target of the machine learning or the deep learning is only one thing, to create a device smart. So machine learning is basically an attribute to create artificial intelligence more about its domain it is working, more about the dedicated boundaries which were being created, and if situation comes up, then it can take a decision on the behalf of the learning attributes. So this is exactly the machine learning. Moving about the more deep learning side. So the deep learning is just giving a more insight to the machine learning. In that particular case, now not only the device is being ready to learn, but each and every entity of a device with respect to its artificial neural system, it is able to provide learning, so that excessive and exhaustive programming is not required. If your neurons are trained, then exactly the action will be taken so nicely wherever you are looking for. And in those situations where you are looking to find out that particular device is not going to respond, but with the help of the deep learning, neuron would be able to take their own decision. So here, if suppose the decision part is to be taken, deep learning is required where it can take the decisions. So let's taking a little more about that artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the deep learning. If you see here, So generally, artificial intelligence, I have already talked about engineering of making intelligent machines and programs. And talking about the machine learning, ability to learn without being explicitly programmed. And the deep learning, talking about learning based on deep neural network. If you see here at the borderline, so if you find out artificial intelligence has been started from 1950s and now up to 2017 and onwards. So now we are working on the areas of the deep learning. So initially we were working on the artificial intelligence part, and we just created so many dummies, so many dedicated applications. They were working for particular results. They were working for particular fixed set of the results. And beyond that, if it was being imposed or supposed to offer a different situation, then exactly that were not able to perform. To rectify all these issues, the machine learning came into the existence. And the machine learning was like that your particular device, if you are just creating a robot, you are just creating any kind of a module, that module has an ability to read out the situation or the environment. And on the basis of the situation and environment, now your device is able to program itself to execute the things. Similarly, moving on the deep learning, this deep learning has been taken from your human neural system like that. So if suppose we just take an example, number of times we have like that, if suppose we are, humans are there, if suppose talking about a kid, and if kid is there, we number of times says to kid, don't touch, this is a hot, if you touch it, definitely you feel bad. So it definitely doesn't affect. But what happens once it touch something which is highly hot, like your iron is there or some electricity is there, if it touched over there, and definitely forever the life, it will be there impressive. And under the situation, so it will be like something under the situation. So under this situation, it will never gonna to touch again that particular hot surface. Is it what, like, this is the training of a neuron. So what happens when we are just creating a device, in that particular device, now we have a target to not only to program a device in such a way to find out the external stimuli, but also to create a device in such a way that it can learn itself through each and every entity using the large number of sensors. So the deep learning involves a large number of set of sensors, and each and every sensor is learned properly. So find out a difference between exactly the part of a trained system is given to you and what exactly is happening. Under these situations, it can take the decision, and on that decision, it can execute like that. So artificial intelligence moving on like that, as I have already told to you, Oracle has just given us some sort of, yes, something is coming up here. So artificial intelligence, I've already told you, it is basically a broad zone, and the machine learning comes under the subset of this, and deep learning comes of this. So any technique which enables computer to mimic human behavior, we can call it as an artificial intelligence. AI technique that gives computer the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed, it means you don't need to program each and everything. Then it comes into the machine learning. So this is an ability. You are just giving an ability, you are just giving an authority to the systems or a device. You find your problems and try to learn that. And deep learning is a subset of a machine learning which make the computation of multi-layer neural network feasible. So it increases the feasibility, it increases the ability of that particular machine learning, that at every moment, at every instant, if a small instance appears over there, so it may have a creation of a new training set, and under those training set, it makes enable beyond. So no limitation is there. Number of the time data set is being repeated. So it is just keep on working. So now if we talk about we wish to work on artificial intelligence, definitely we have to go for the machine learning. So this machine, without machine learning, your artificial intelligence will be same as we had in the previous slide, where the robot was trying to stop the ball, but it wasn't able. So if your artificial intelligence is there, that will be only in market once it will have a machine learning and move on more area of the research and more advancement, it must have a deep learning. So at least we should have to move towards the machine learning. So see here, what exactly the, just taking a little more insight about the machine learning and the deep learning here, taking one example. If suppose we see here, if we have a car, and what exactly need to have a machine learning, how does it exactly work? So if we see here, the input of a car is to be given, then first of all, important part is a feature extract. So this is more important. We have to extract the feature, how we can identify whether it is a car and which particular car, whether it is a Mercedes or simply Honda or a Maruti car, how we can identify all that. So each and everything which we observe through our eyes, that exactly the feature extractions. So one has to go, if looking for the machine learning to create and incorporate here, has to go exactly on the basis of the feature extractions and need to find out all these features and then classify all of them. Because if suppose we are talking about the features, and if car has some features, what are the features? Basically, it has basically the 4 tires. Basically 4 tires are here, then it is a car. Then we are talking about it has a windscreen, exactly it is a car. So this kind of a classification, if you see, you find all the varieties in all the cars. If you find out some doors, it has a 4 doors, definitely bonnet is here, steering is here. So if you're trying to find out on the basis of the distinguishing a car, so you can distinguish a car from a cycle, you can distinguish a car from a bike, you can easily distinguish a car from human or any other object. But if you are seeking to find out car, specifically whether it is a car of like a Maruti Desire or some talking about the Honda CR-V, or just taking another examples of like that. So if you're looking to find out the basic classification among these car categories, so you have to define a specific feature data set. And all those feature data set will be requiring a proper classification, and the classification will give you a right analysis. Then it would be able to decide whether it is a car, not a car, or car of Maruti, car of Mercedes, car of Audi. So that all will be the feature extraction. So this is what simply, and this classification will have a correlative assets. Suppose these dots are simply showing we have a features, and the features may have a autocorrelations with respect to the previous and the next one, and that may have a cross correlation. So in a very simple language, I must tell you what exactly the cross correlation and the autocorrelation is. That if suppose I'm just talking about the basically Mercedes car and taking just an example of any S series of Mercedes car. So if I just go for the look, so first of all, the first image look of Mercedes car is extremely different from any other car. Take an example from the Maruti or the Honda. So that particular classification will have its autocorrelation with the next stage. We are looking to find out its steering style, we are looking for its color style, or we are looking for its logo style. So this all will have a autocorrelation and having a distinguished property. So this is giving a kind of a relationship from first stage observation. It is means the first look of a car, then going inside, looking for the second look, and the second look is just giving an idea. It is showing us that it has a certain steering, then going forward, it has a certain kind of a seat. So this all giving in the first stage, if you see here, it is giving a stage like this one. So first stage and the second stage and the third stage, so on. So this is what the autocorrelation, and it has a very strong bonding in between each another. But it may be possible if we are talking about the steering. So exactly, the Mercedes has a steering as well as the Honda car has a steering, and it has some autocorrelation because it has a basically circular shape. This is one example. So this has an autocorrelation. This has to be extracted properly. But what will be the difference? The difference will be here of weight. So it has a great weightage between first layer and second layer Maruti car structure, like the Mercedes car structure, than its steering. It has a strong correlation in that, and having a less weight, less correlation with respect to the Honda car steering. So it has a, suppose had a unit weight, 100% weight is here, so it may have a 0.5 or 0.4 weightage to find out the similarity between that. So on these relationship, now finally the final stage will come up and the decision will be taken whether it is a car or not a car. While talking about the deep learning is finding out each and every aspect with respect to only the feature extraction. It is not going to find out the broad sense analysis. It is not going to find out what exactly the look of a car. It is completely breaking the car into the number of the aspect, number of the features which can be extracted all. So on these, it has a more layered structures as well as it goes for the classifications too. So it goes for structures and creating, it means the car structure identification has been created in a group and identify differences in all those groups. So the deep learning is creating an artificial neural network, and those artificial neural network is now capable to create a groups of similar kind of attributes of a car. Then it is going to create a different kind of attributes of a car. Then it is going to find out the correlation between these similar kind of and there's one the second one which are not very the similar one, and among them they are looking to find out the cross relationship, and finally the weight factor which comes out during the artificial neural network that will come out as a result and give more precise values whether it is a car or it is not a car. It can decide like that. So let's moving because we have artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the deep learning. It is exactly a too much vast area, but because artificial intelligence is a part of application, so application will only be created once you have some inside attributes. So here I'm just taking a little about a machine learning and insight. So if we suppose we talk about the machine learning, that is important to know everyone who wants to work in that machine learning. That machine learning is basically divided into three categories. First is the supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement. So supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement, three learnings are here. A few people are raising hands. Is there any question? Not at all. If there's any question, you may please talk in the chat box because somebody was raising.
Sir, you can continue.
Yeah. So basically, we have basically supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. Three categories are here. So what exactly the supervised? Let's talk about supervised first. So exactly the most important part, if we see here, we are looking to create a machine learning. It means we are going to make our device too much smart that it can read out the external stimuli and learn, and then after create an action. So what it requires first, it requires a data, and data must be labeled. Labeled, it means data should have a specification. This is the data, and this is basically the data boundary. This has to be there. Direct feedback, exactly the feedback is required. If suppose learning is there, taking a simple example, if suppose I'm just going on a path and one path is very smooth and one have some sort of the potholes. So I myself just watching something and checking out that on a smooth path, my eyes is giving direct feedback to me and supervising myself. This is a smooth path, you should go on there. And this is the pothole area. So this kind of a feedback is there. And another labeled path is something like that. If suppose you are on a road and you are running on a highway, so highway has certain label and directing you that this is a smooth highway. If you go here, you will have a toll, but you have a hassle-free ride. But another way, there's no toll, but it might be possible that during this on this road you may have some hassles may be there or some discomfort may be there. So label data, direct feedback, predict outcome of future. On the basis of that, it is going to predict whether this particular path, if suppose I have just chosen something, on the basis of that, the next stage will come up and the prediction will be taken that if suppose these kind of conditions are here right now, then in future, next, this situation will appear like that. On that basis, it takes the decision. While talking about unsupervised, no labels, basically, there's no label on that. And basically no feedback, hidden structures are there. So when the system is there in which there is no kind of supervision is not there, if suppose we are in a situation somewhat like a flood situation is there and we are just finding ourselves trapped in that. So there is no place, there is no one who is just guiding us that this is the right way to just come out from the flood area. It is not. At that time, there's no labeling, no feedback, nobody is just suggesting us. We have to take our own decision on the basis of our own learning experiences. This is exactly the hidden structure. So what exactly we had inside already, what we learned through our previous learning, what we have just, in which way we have grown up, that will help us to decide unsupervised learning. So talking about the third area, which is the reinforcement. Reinforcement is a decision process. It is a reward system. And it's learned series of actions. So decision. So reinforcement is there. So finally the decision has been taken. A particular device is taking some sort of decision. Finally it is done. Then on the basis of that, some sort of the clues, ticking, marking, giving absolute values, or appraising or dividing into the segmentation, this result has been done so perfect. So dividing in such a categorization of all these will help you to decide the device that next time this kind of a learning attribute will be so nice. Clear? Next, learn series of action. And then once the decision has been taken, reward has been given, then that series of action is there. Just, it is a kind of a learning reinforcement. Generally, we give to our kids like that. Our kid is there, if he's getting a good marks and scoring a good mark, under this situation, what we say to them? We ask them, like, you have already gone through us so nicely and you have just scored so well. So now it is a time to you do more. So this is a benchmark we have created for his score and has just given something to him as a gift, like cycle and something else he was looking for. So that reward has been given and he understands that thing, that now I'm able to got this thing because of what this particular action, what I have just done previously. On the basis of that particular action, in the next schooling stage, he will go for the next and find out that this is the benchmark. On the basis of this benchmark, next stage will be there, and surely I will be able to get that. So this is basically a decision. It means the marks has been come and decision has to be evaluated. Then a reward has been created, and then on the basis of a series of learning action has been come. So whole this section, I'm just not taking too much technical of this, just giving a very brief overview of this so that one may have an interest, not to be puzzled like that, supervise and supervisors reinforce, not to be too much puzzled. It is a basically categorization. Once you start working, then you find out in which area you are working upon. It is not somewhat like you start working specifically under the supervise or supervise or the reinforce working. You start, you think upon that, what you're looking for. And definitely once you start working in the direction, then you would be able to realize that this is the categorization of my learning skill and I'm working in that area. So start, you have some sort of the all value data, label data, feedback system is available. You say that I'm working as supervised. If suppose you are not being directed with anything, you are not being instructed by anything, then you can say like that, okay, fine, it is unsupervised and decision has to be taken by the device itself because of its previous learning attributes. And the third is one, when each and every section is just giving a categorization of the results which come out. Every time that particular result is just giving a decision, and the decision will taking a next step to go ahead. So all these categorization comes when machine learning comes. I hope so you all might have an insight of that, how we can start that and what are basically the requirements. So among them, I just find one thing. If anybody is looking to work on the machine learning and anything else like, so most important part is there, the data. In each and every case, the learning cannot be possible until and unless we have a data. It means touching of a hot surface by a kid is nothing but a data. So we all are working in the era of the data, and the data is fed into the neural system of that particular kid, that this is a hot surface which looks like a black, which looks like a having some flame. This is a hot surface, I should not. So that data, first data has taken, like it is an iron. So it may be iron like that. The second data, it is a like something flame, or it is something like a black kind of a surface is there. So that kind of a data has been taken by the neural system of kid and learning has been created. So this is basically required here. So let's moving on. So as I picked up, this data is having a great importance. So I'm just moving, because until and unless we just think upon this data science, we cannot move on to machine learning, and exactly we cannot go for the application part, which is being called as your artificial intelligence. So this data science, as initially I have talked about, that artificial intelligence is a attribute of human intelligence. Basically, it is a human intelligence attribute. So human intelligence comes with the management of a data. It means human has to collect, human has to find out the data possibilities. And once this data possibilities is really retrieved on from the external surrounding, then actually the machine learning process or artificial intelligence process will start. So if you see here, what are the places and where you can have that particular data? So first of all, business analytics. everywhere. So no one can say that I'm a person who belongs to electronics engineering, electrical engineering, or computer science engineering, and I don't have any attribute related with the data set, and I don't need that. I'm working simply Arduino board, or working on a Raspberry Pi, or just creating some simulations on MATLAB, and I don't need net data. This is exactly not a truth one. So if you are working, if you are creating something, if you're making your things smart, you can't say no to data science. So this data science is applicable. And being an engineer, the important part is there, being an engineer, whether you belongs to any specific domain of engineering, you need to work in all domains of a life where we are working upon. So if it is not like that, if you're working in the electronics section, working in electrical section, so you only require to industrial attributes of electrical and electronics. You may require maybe a business analytics of anywhere where you are just having a product analysis of your simple diode. Whether this particular diode is going to hit the market, or whether this particular diode you are manufacturing will definitely going to make the sales term. That all comes under the data science, and data science is a basic first stage to work with the machine learning. So if you see here, a number of the examples are here. I'm not going to read it all out. Business analytics, business logistic, including supply chain, finance sector, we have a great data. If all the insurance companies, those are working, number of advertisement you are just finding on that all are working on the basis of these analysis. Health, nowadays we are having a COVID, number of analysis we are finding on our television, the news. These analysis are only on the basis of the machine learning and data science analysis is there. So bioinformatics, natural sciences, information economy, social media. Social media is a wonderful example of AI. You are just purchasing something on your desktop, somewhat related with the Amazon, and you are looking for Flipkart. But once you see on your mobile Facebook, that particular shoe you were looking on your desktop computer, that is now shown up here on your AI surface. It means on your Facebook surface by the example of the AI. It means somewhat you were looking for that has been converted into the form of data. That data has been sold to and transferred to the Facebook, and the Facebook is finding that particular person is interested, and those advertisements are applicable on Facebook. They are watching it up, and they're using this data to make you able to go again and find out you missed that particular shoe. Now it has a chance to buy it again. So this is exactly the social media, smart cities, most important part. So nowadays, within a couple of years and a couple of decades, if you talk about, every city, every government will be working in those areas to make the city smart. And the city can only be smart once there, each and every devices, when there each and every implemented system is the smart one. So there you require a large data set and data analysis. Education system and the electronic teaching, we are also working on that. We are working every time we are watching and finding out that how many participants are interested. We are using this Zoom platform and connecting each and everything. This is all about an example. So this is next one. So energy sustainability and climate. So energy sustainability and the climate. So nowadays the energy environment is also working on those areas. So people are working, and this is the not only in India but even outside the environment, and even the governments are releasing large number of projects and funds related with the energies and the environment safety. So that is also weather forecasting is a very wonderful example of just giving all these analysis. This all comes up with this. So ultimately, this is not only the limited section, but even too much and too large sections are there in which the data science is applicable. Not specifically talking about these 10 to 15 and 20 ideas, number of ideas there where the data science is there. So my simple suggestion is here. No one belongs to science and engineering, so no one can live without analysis of the data. So as we have talked about the data, let's me come up with some real-time examples. So basically here we have some real-time example of the analysis of data. So if you see here, I have just taken a one set of a data example here. So in which some alcohol contents are here. So alcohol will have a number of the like malic acid is there, ash is there, magnesium is there, phenol is there. So if suppose I'm talking about an example of a company is here and company is just preparing some alcohol. And during that alcohol, it has a certain percentage, 14.23, 13.20, and looking to find out the sale of this particular. So if you see here, I have just created a particular scattered chart on that. And this chart is gonna to help you to analysis of a data, what factors depends upon. and what the companies are doing and what the data analysts as well as the engineers are doing with this, to just only working in a particular company of a liquor company to sort it out that this particular content will gonna to work better for the sale or not. So we have a large number of a data set containing all these kind of a contents, and we have just created simply, we have simply created here the alcohol content and a sale per day. So this is a one example only. We are just creating, see here, so checking out what are the alcohol components on the basis of the percentage and checking out the sales per day. So if you see here, with respect to the alcohol component, the sale will keep on changing. So one can easily find out, checking out that if suppose we are making a particular wine and we are adding this sort of the alcohol content within a particular wine, and that wine is going to the market, so whether it will be liked by the peoples or not, and on the basis of that, the whole company can work like that and can take a decision that the next particular lot will be containing that amount of this. So this sales can be predicted on the behalf of basis of that. Taking one more example here. So number of days we have a games, like taking one more example, this is somewhat related with the sales of a wine. Taking another example, this is all example related with the machine learning and the data sciences. Taking one more example, we have a game which is being called as a Pokemon. In this particular game, we have a large number of the basically attributes and different kind of. So example I have just taken, if you see here, I have just taken this dispense. So if you are running your program with respect to your computer, so running your program, you are playing your game with respect to the computer, how your computer is just taking the decision. The computer is taking the decision, and this decision is taken on the basis of data analysis. So until and unless you have this data analysis, you cannot go for. If you see here, we have a different kind of a names are there, and we have basically types where basically we are working on, that is a grass or a poison, something like that. How many total scores are there? HP, attack and defense is there. So among them, large number of data set is there. So one attribute I have just compared. One is the defense and second is the attack. If you see here with respect to these dots, blue, orange and the green. So this is the data analysis I just created. So if you see here, under the stages of the 1, 2 and 3, blue, orange and green, you can find out on the basis of attack, what particular stage will have what kind of a defense status. So if you see this orange dot indicate, which is the stage number 2, and this stage 2 tells this orange particular dot will have, during the respect of the 100 aspect of the attributes of the attack, will have a 175 of defense. So now what happens, we have just done this data analysis. Exactly, we have created this analysis. What exactly going to do? So while we are having this particular analysis of a data, then on the basis of that, action will be taken so that you can make your computer more advanced. If you go for the stage 1, so stage 1 definitely having on the basis of attack, the defense is so higher. And then looking for the stage 2, we are just making this typical. So making your stage tough or easy will depends upon this kind of a analysis. So this analysis will help you. Now once you have a data set, data attributes, now in the next programming, when you are just going to make your program or its advanced stage, you can incorporate all these analysis. If suppose someone is attacking, it means a player who is actually a live player and fighting with the computer game can easily decide that if suppose this kind of attack was there and computer responded in such a way, so next time when I'm just going to create a more important and more special program or more special game, then I can use this one, and this kind of attributes is there. Similarly, in another one, this is basically a speed. If you see the speed with respect to the grass, fire, water, but it means the position. Generally, we choose the stages where we are fighting on this. So grass, fire, water, bug, normal, all these things are here. So that even that is small analysis. It means related with each and every, this kind of a relative analysis can easily be executed, and that analysis happens. It's not like that you are playing a simple game. This game does not require that kind of analysis happens. Then this analysis to be creating an attribute to generate a particular output, to generate a particular game, what you're looking for, which make you more smart. One more very important example. So one example I just taken related with the sale. A second example I have just taken related the game, in which the game was being decided on the basis of fighting between the action taken by the person, player, live player, and the computer. Third example, which is a very perfect example of the data analysis. A restaurant has just taken analysis, and this particular restaurant has just taken analysis on the basis of that total bill, tip, what kind of a person is coming, whether it's a male or female, a person on the basis of checking out whether it's a smoker, coming on what day, whether it's coming Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and so on, coming on time, whether it is a dinner time, and how many comings on that time. This is basically a size. So see what kind of a wonderful analysis has been done and what kind of a relative chart can be created. This all are the standard data that has been created at the various restaurants levels. So see here, so this is a plot analysis has been done up here. So here I've just taken one reference analysis with respect to the total bill and the tip. So finding out that a particular person who is coming to the restaurant, this is a simple data analysis, a very easy step you can work upon. You can start upon thinking in that area. A person who is just coming and paying some bill. So on the basis of that bill, I have just created a relative plot chart with respect to the tip. How much amount the person is just going to pay, and on that particular amount, what is his capacity to pay as a tip. So finding out this relationship among them, and one can create easily a data analysis. On that data analysis, one can create their own system to devise the machine learning. And the third attribute I just taken, it is a time, whether it is a dinner time or whether it is a lunch time. Check this example very carefully. It is definitely very, very wonderful example. So whether it is a time of lunch. So if you see here, during the time of a dinner, a person is coming and we have some cross, orange cross and the blue dots. If you go up here, it is basically gender, female or a male. So blue dots all are the females, and the crosses, orange crosses are the males. So if you see here, the blues and crosses are here. Second, checking up the size, 0, 2, 3, 4, 6. So coming up here, the person who is just coming, having a certain range of a bill, paying some tip, if I see who is giving the maximum tip, so I can find out that particular person is a male. So male is giving a highest tip and having a highest bill during the time of dinner. So now the kind of analysis comes, the peoples are coming during the dinner time and specifically is a male. So waiter has a chance to get more tip from that. So we'll definitely gonna to serve him better. Similarly, looking to find out second attribute. The second attribute is somewhat related with the time of lunch. If person is coming during the lunch time, if you see here, this particular person belongs to maximum tip area and it is again a male, but not having a too much amount of bill. So the person who is just serving out and checking up the bill of a customer and can easily guess that particular person is going to give me how much amount of a tip. This is just only an example. Similarly, if you see here, this time the females, those are the females having a large number of the bills but not giving too much of tip what exactly the males are giving. So this is just only a data analysis example related with the tip, but not exactly this is the tip. You may find out everything, like you may have a relationship between the total bill and checking out whether it is a smoker or not. If someone has come in the restaurant and is smoking, the owner who is just the manager who is just making this restaurant running on can easily check the person is smoking out and will have a great chance to find out on the basis of all data analysis. But exactly to work upon that, it is important that you must have a data. So once you have a data, you can have analysis, and once you have the analysis, you can take a predictive action for the future. So now in these previous examples, we have just taken only a simple example of a data analysis in which I have just taken an example related with the wine. What are the contents is making to wine more favorite. Second attribute I have just taken related with the gaming. It means the animation, the gaming. The gaming is somewhat related with the animation, and behind that there is a machine learning. It means your computer is learning every time. It is just making itself eligible to fight against you under your situation, under your human intelligence. So all those data is analyzed first. Then once the data is analyzed, what to do with this data? So if you're looking to use this data for the making your devices smart, you may have a regression. So regression is a very first step. Large number of the applications are available here. Number of times we are having this kind of approach can be used to make the devices smart. But very first, if you're going for the regression, this is the very first step towards the machine learning. So those belongs to somewhat related with the mathematics. They can understand what is exactly the regression analysis. But this regression analysis we are going to use in our basically machine learning attribute. So you see here, where this kind of a machine learning can be required. What is the price of a house in a specific city with 3 bedrooms and above 2,000 square feet? Can you imagine that's kind of a data analysis to be done, and on the basis of that, the price can be floated out. Second, predicting financial results, stock market, stock prices, or how many total runs can on board in a cricket game. That is also, it means the number of the bookies are also working on those areas. Stock prices are working on those areas. You have an existing data set and output, supervised learning, and your algorithm predicts the outcome based on a fitting function. So you have a data, you have a proper data analysis. Now your system is going to predict something. Let's check it out, how it is going to work. So first of all, we are working on that. What we need to do, we need to classify and we need to go for the regression model. If you see here, the first of all target is here the classification. As I've already told about that during the machine learning process, it was required to classify the data first. Feature extraction, and the feature extraction will go to the next stage, the classification. If you have a proper classification, then only you can work upon with the device learning or the machine learning. So see example here, we have just taken simply a model. A model has been created, and that model is simply saying the peoples are diseased or peoples are healthy. So some of them are diseased and healthy. So first important part is here to classify them data. And see here, this is the simple fine. Okay, we have a classification of data. Some are diseased and some are not diseased. Now what to do? If suppose we are looking to find out the regression model, the regression model will tells you basically a closest approach. It means if suppose we are having someone, this one is highly, you can say highly diseased or having a greatly suffered, and these are lightly suffered basically. So what kind of a rule has to be taken in between that to, like we are creating a model, so whether this particular patient has to be admitted or not admitted. Right nowadays we are having a corona issues, and suppose that we are making a device, like number of the people are saying that there may be a partiality. Humans are just thinking about that if somebody has some sort of the relation, then it should be admitted, and that kind of a uses nowadays we are having. So but exactly my target is here, if suppose we are going to create a model, in that model we can identify whether this particular patient is to be admitted or not to be admitted. My device is ready to take a decision on that. So what I'm doing, I'm just finding out all the patient data, and on the patient data, if I'm having a limited number of seats, so I'm just creating this regression analysis. This regression analysis just giving a closest approach. It means very closest approach to each and every data set. And in future, if suppose anything will come up on the basis of these data results, any future prediction can be taken on these lines. So you can understand this more about that. This is the clustering. This is the unclustered. This is the unclustered data. This is the clustered data, and all these clustered and unclustered data can be classified. Once it is being classified, they will have a regression activities. And if suppose in near future you don't have data, then easily you can predict on this data line that this might be a patient and may be admitted. So those are lying over there, and those lines can easily be created and can easily be treated as a patient. So important part is what? Feature extraction. If you're talking about the first of all, because you are going to work with this, the important part is that you have to go for the extraction of a feature. So in the regression analysis, we have created large number of data set. We have to create a line of a regression, and line of a regression requires what? Requires basically analysis of feature extraction. Take an example here. Here we have this cat as well as we have a dog. Now we are going to distinguish among them. So number of the stretches are required to create this feature extractions. So those will going to create an attribute. If suppose someone is going to fail in that, then what can be the result? Again, The computer is working in such a way, it is creating a feature extraction. And if your learning and data analysis is not very adequate and you have not taken exactly sample, so that kind of a result may appear here. If you see here, 82% result comes if your computer is working like that and identifying all these, and will say 82% work looks like cat. 15% on the basis of this particular section, 15% it looks like a dog, 2% it looks like a hat, checking it out, and finally 1% looks like a mug. So this is exactly the feature extraction, and this is exactly the flaws of feature extraction. If it is not analyzed and classified properly. So this is exactly going for the machine learning that limits this one. So see here. So if you check here, you're finding that horse is there, and this is an example of simply a machine learning or deep learning or artificial intelligence in total. So this is in a horse, and see here, what is basically to be done. Here, this horse has been converted into the zebra, and that zebra is only an example attribute of the machine learning. See, what is done, the data attribute of horse each and every time with respect to its dynamic motion, its relative position has to be taken care properly, analyzing and finally predicting it. Then after it is being predicted, so that the lines of a zebra is imposed exactly on the horse body and it looks like zebra exactly. If such things are not there, then if suppose such kind of a calculation is to be done, then this 82% cat, 15% dog, 2% hat kind of a situation may be there, and it may be possible this kind of an impression which is created on a horse with respect to its relative position may be somewhat displaced from its actual position. So moreover, going for next one, if you see, then what is required to do this? So this is very important. Now I'm just giving an actual attribute, learning, prediction, and finally you would be able to get your AI. So first of all, important is what the learning, how you can learn. Learning is only possible on the basis of a data, only basis of data. You can learn on, find out the data, as much of as data you have, as much of as data analysis you have, then only you can go for the prediction, and then finally you are able to create your artificial intelligence. So starting with the learning, first of all, just take a very simple example. Again, I have just taken with respect to learning, prediction, and AI. We have just taken an example of gender. This gender may be related with the somewhat male and a female. A few examples are here. It is a large data set. Only the 5 values are shown up here. So gender may be a male or a female. Age range, it may be different. It may be starting from 5, 10, 15, and so on. Number of ages are here. So I've just taken a few values are here. It is a large data set of carrying so many rows and columns. Head size and the brain weight. See what kind of analysis is here. So let me clear this problem. This problem is related with the, suppose that we have a boy or a girl, and doctors are looking with respect to their age, if suppose they have certain head size and what is their brain weight. So basically those are working in the those are the neurophysicians working in the science of working there, find out and getting their analysis in the area of the research related with the development of the brain. They are finding it all that we have a certain age. With respect to age, what is generally the head size and what is the brain weight, so that they can find out whether there is a proper development of the brain or not. And this is to be taken from a certain area, like taken from the India itself, taken from the Delhi, taken from the Kolkata, or taken from somewhat outside the Canada and somewhere else like Italy. So that kind of a data set has been taken up and checking it out whether what kind will be happen if suppose the situation sustains for the next one. So here I've just taken this analysis related with this brain weight and head size. So if you see here we are just creating this data set. We are creating this data set that has been created with the respect to the head size. We have number of head size here, and we have a brain weight. So now we have head size with respect to centimeter cube, and we have a brain weight with respect to, and we have created this kind of a data. This analysis has been plotted. Now this is what I'm fitting the curve. I'm fitting this curve. This is the straight line, and this straight line is a regression analysis which is going to predict and going to create an AI model. See here, so this data is here. So now the scattered data, somewhat it is going here and there. So now the machine will learn, because this is a real-time analysis and it happens everywhere, okay, that particular thing exactly must not be the replica of the previous one. So what will be the best solution to find out the maximum possible approach related with this one? So approaching in this direction, created a regression analysis, and this regression analysis shows you that this is the closest line with respect to each and every data, that if you put your model on this, so it can satisfy large number of data sets. And finally, if you can create that, on the basis of that, you can, those are not available, suppose that over 4500, if you don't have, so you can predict the brain weight. If suppose it belongs to somewhat 4600, you can easily determine this belongs to somewhat related with the 1600 grams. So exactly this is what prediction. So first create your data, analyze your data, create your regression analysis. This regression analysis will create your model, and on that model, the model will keep on working. And now this model do not require to program again. This model will predict on the basis of this model analysis and will give you the future values if it comes up. This is exactly the learning, prediction, and application. So learning then done, then we are just creating learning. It means finding out the data. That data has been creating the regression model, and the regression model is creating the prediction, and the prediction, it is artificial intelligence. So see another wonderful example of this one. So if you see here, this is what exactly the regression analysis, and on this regression analysis, it is trying to find out. So when this curve is not fitting properly, it means it has to direct the path, and on that particular path, this person is running on, and that path has to be taken up from this side. But if this curve is not fitting adequately, then initially it was directing properly, but that particular vector movement was diverting here. If you see here, this shows you that it is being diverted from its regression analysis. So if this is being directed properly on the basis of a large number of a data set, then it can be directed through this particular path where this kind of a disturbance will not be there in the path. So here it is required. So if you see here, this regression, this machine learning, this prediction, whether it has to go to this path or not to go this path, can only be created with the help of this regression analysis. And this regression analysis required as much as data set you have, it will be a best fitting curve, and during that fitness, it will give a perfect prediction. And once it gives the perfect predictions to you, surely your AI model will be perfect and will be responding to every external stimuli. So now, moving ahead, and I hope so you are really understand the requirement of data analysis, and as well as if you have a data analysis set of data is available, data is related to everybody. Like if suppose somebody is working in the area and creating a household system and making it more smart. If suppose I'm opening my door and I wish that my room must be too much smart, so what I need to have, first of all, first data is there. If suppose I'm opening my door, so I don't need to put key inside that. My door must recognize me. So this recognition requires what? First of all, my face identification. The data requirement is there. So from each and every attribute, from side, from front, from upward, in all the possible values, my face has to be recognized by my door camera. So this requires large data set. As much as data you will give to your door, it will be able to identify your face recognitions effectively. Otherwise, it might be possible you are here on your own and somewhat your siblings are there which has somewhat related face, some face recognition. It happens many times in families. Generally, the sisters and the brothers are having a common face. So if suppose you are on your door and you are not on your door and your sister or your brother comes up, and exactly it is, if you have a less data set, you're identifying only the nose, identifying only the eyes, face look, face cut, only 4 or 5 attributes you're giving, and the person is coming up, easily door will be opened up. And then you may have a chance to reveal out you all things, but exactly inside there. So that may be the possibility. So what do you require if you want to make it more safe or more secure? Your door camera must have a large number of data set. And as much of as data set you will give, it will help you to find out actual prediction on actual values of your identification. Similarly, you are entering inside the room, then if suppose you are entering inside the room, then